What's up, everybody, including Lottie Dottie? Welcome to the Retro. Oh, no, hold on. Welcome to What's Love. I'm sitting here talking about Retro Philosophy Show. That'll be tomorrow morning. But for now, we've got the one and only, my beautiful wife, Shelly McKeever, in the building. What your name is?
Shelly.
Always come in so dry. Shelly, Shelly.
It's not dry.
It's not dry.
It's who I am.
It's who you is. Okay,
That's
all
it.
right. So I'm the excited one.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm the all right, I'll take that. I'll take that. Hey, check it out, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank you for joining the show on tonight. Tonight, we're talking about jumping the broom. For those of you who are not familiar with What's Love, it was formerly called What's Love Got to Do with It. And we decided to shorten it instead of What's Love Got to Do with It to just simply What's Love. Lady McGyver, what would you say love is?
Hmm.
Mm,
Interesting question.
yeah?
But love can be whatever you want it to be,
Okay.
whatever you need it to be in your life.
Okay.
My my definition of love and your definition of love could be two different things.
Okay. All right.
So for me, love is happiness,
Mm-hmm.
give and take. It's a feeling of
All
appreciation,
right.
dedication.
All right.
It's all that. Spending time.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Love is a beautiful thing, and I believe that love can save your life. And the reason why I believe love can save our life is because that's what it did for me. Love saved my life. You know what I mean? And so I'm appreciative for you. I'm appreciative for even the time that we met. Hey, y'all, I apologize. It just says Facebook user. I guess I'll have to do some looking into that and see if we can sort that out. And let me see here. We need some little background music. I guess we'll work with that for now.
can they hear us good?
Yeah,
We don't have
can you guys hear us good? Is there any echo? Let us know how things are sounding, how things are looking. Brandy Stevens Hudgens. Um, yeah, so let us know, let us know. I think that must be Shaquan doing some tagging folk. I think that's what that is. Let me see. But anyway, folks, we're glad to be here again. We're talking about jumping the broom, and jumping the broom. I would like to hear from you guys when you hear that terminology, jumping the broom. What comes to mind? What comes to mind? Lady McIver, how about you? We'll start with you. Jumping the broom.
well, actually, jump in the room was something that I've never heard of. As far as my background, right?
Okay.
Being a
And
Jamaican,
okay.
you
So what that
never
mean?
that meaning never hear them
So
something.
you never hear them thing there?
No,
I never talk that in Jamaica.
never hear nothing about a
Ah,
jump
ah,
broom. But since I came to America, I've been here a pretty long time. You see how I can switch that up.
Come on, Becky. Come on, Becky.
You can, you hear about jumping a broom, and then I get the realization of what it means. I guess jumping into a another life with someone else. So am I correct, or maybe I'm not?
No, say it one more time. Say it one more
Like
time.
you jump in the broom, so you leave in one part of your life, I guess, behind, and then you taking it with another one.
Well,
I don't know, man.
well,
I don't know.
I,
Tell
I,
me.
I don't
That's
know. I've always heard it. Jump in the broom. For me, jumping the broom just simply means you're getting ready to get married. I mean, that's what I've always known it
Yeah, but they
to
literally
mean.
jump the broom though. They literally have a broom
And they jump over
and
it.
they jump over it.
Yeah. So if you guys are listening and you have a better explanation as to what jumping the broom means or the meaning behind actually jumping over the broom, then we would love for you guys to share that with us. I don't know.
I think that's what it means though. Like you having, I don't know, the broom there, and I guess it's a African American heritage of something that we do. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. Just jumping over, crossing over into a new life with someone else.
Now,
Sorry.
I will say, as it relates to, okay, let's see here. I'll pull this up on the big bad Google thing real quick. Let's see what it says. Many cultures have traditions that are integrated into wedding ceremonies as a way to pass down customs throughout generations. For the Black community, jumping the broom is one that it's deep, one that is steep and and decades of history, as many black couples may already know, and contemporary nuptials, jumping the broom happens after exchanging vows and saying "I do."
See, somebody says,
Okay, according to wedding planner Nicole Harris. Come on now, they're gonna make me buy something to finish reading. Really? Okay. So according to her of dreams and details, the officiant will either provide a prayer, poem, or a brief explanation of the meaning of the tradition, and the broom. Yeah, then the broom will be placed on the ground for the newlyweds to jump over it. Anyone can place the broom on the ground, as there is no traditional person who bears this role. But a couple may choose a significant person to take on this responsibility. While jumping the broom has become a familiar practice within many black nuptials, the origins of the tradition are often unknown.
well, somebody said here, jumping the broom is what, how slavery solidified their marriage.
Okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. While jumping the broom has become a familiar practice within many black nuptials, the origins of the tradition are often unknown. That's why we consulted with Harris to help explain the rich history and meaning of this custom, and why couples choose to jump the broom at weddings within the black community today. Let's see. The history of jumping the broom. The history of jumping the broom is a bit complex, with several conflicting accounts about the origin of this ritual. Some agree that it originated in West Africa, as brooms were used as a way to ward off evil spirits. Okay, specifically, family members or members of the community would wave a broom over the couple's heads and then place it on the ground for the couple to jump over it.
That's too much
Yeah,
witchcraft.
that's quite a bit.
No, I
Uh,
don't know about all
yeah,
that.
it's even said that a good-natured joke was whoever jumped the broom the highest was designated as the household decision maker.
Okay, now we're getting crazy.
Okay, so
Slaves were not allowed to marry.
that's how they solidified it, by jumping the broom. Very interesting. Very interesting.
I think I'll go with that one. I think that sounds a little bit more
Yeah.
realistic or whatever. Yeah.
So what happens after one jumps the broom? Now let's get into it. What happens after one jumps the broom? Anybody want to hop in there? And you know what? As a matter of fact, since we're feeling very cordial and very inclusive on tonight, let's go ahead and do this, just in case somebody would like to call in with a better explanation as to what we are dealing with here on tonight. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens after you jump the broom? Okay, let's talk about us. Should we talk about what happens before you jump the broom?
At that point, it's not even relevant.
What do you mean? Once you jump the broom, what you do before is not relevant?
No,
Oh.
I mean, at that point, you made the decision to jump the broom.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter how you came to that conclusion of jumping the broom. You decide to make that decision, right? So it's like, it's okay to know, but I mean, I think the important part of, if we're talking about specifically jumping the broom, is what happened after that. Because like they said, whoever jumped the highest is responsible for being in charge or warding off evil spirit and all that.
What I'm talking about, though, sorry to interrupt you, but what I'm talking about is, what do we do before we jump the broom? Is that important? And I'll say yes.
Okay.
Okay, so what we do before we jump the broom, I'm not talking about like during the ceremony, but I mean leading up to the ceremony.
Okay.
What did I do to prepare? What did I do to be ready? Am I ready emotionally, mentally, financially?
I don't think, for me, I don't think I did anything to be ready.
Okay.
I think I knew what I wanted to do and I just did it.
Okay.
For you made the way as far as setting the house in order. You went and prepared and got us a place and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But for me, I think I just knew I wanted to get married, and I just went ahead and I just did it. I don't think I did anything or prepare majorly
Okay.
for jumping the broom.
I think for you, the first day you saw your husband, you knew it was your husband, and something like that. Ain't that how the story goes?
That's how it goes.
That's how the story goes. True story.
True story.
Okay, so what about me said husband material? I mean, I'm inquiring minds want to know.
know. Maybe it was just a thought. The thought of, yeah, that could be my husband, and then just spoke it into fruition. I like how you look. I like what I felt from just seeing you. I can't explain it.
Because some people, and we've talked about this before in season one, love at first sight, and there are some people who don't believe in love at first sight. But and when you saw me, it wasn't necessarily love. It was just
something that says
a connection.
That can be my husband.
Okay.
That will be my husband.
Okay. Can be or will be?
Will be.
Oh,
that's
okay.
what I said. I said will be to my friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I did.
Do you regret that decision?
No.
No.
Because I do want to choke you out.
You want to choke me out? Oh my goodness, y'all. She talking about choking me out on the air.
But some days I feel like I can just.
Now, what could I do to make you want to choke me out? Really?
Let's see.
Hey, listen to me. Let me tell you this. You got to realize, folks, that love is real, and just as real as love is, so will be your obstacles. I mean, true story. And so, as it relates to getting ready to jump the broom, because see, some of y'all jump the broom, they want to pick the broom up and go upside their head with the broom, or as she said, want to choke a brother out. I'm like, really?
But that don't mean I don't love you, though. I still love you, but
okay.
I just don't love you in that moment, or I don't love what you're doing in that moment.
Okay.
So it's different. It's not like my love for you just ta-da and it's gone.
Okay.
It's just one. Okay, right now in this moment, I could really choke you up, but not really, really, really choke you up.
Okay.
Just metaphorically speaking.
Okay. She's trying to clean it up
so,
now, y'all.
Yeah, no, seriously, but yeah. It's just one of those things where you love somebody. You don't just fall out of love because circumstances, issues, or something become annoying to you or whatever. Then you be like, all right, you know what, this is it. You gotta press forward or whatever, and just being honest, like how I can truly say, yeah, I feel like I wanted to choke you out, or what you were doing at that moment was not whatever the greatest, or I didn't appreciate it, loved it, whatever, but able to.
So let me ask you this, and again, you guys, please hit up the comment section, and you can also utilize the telephone lines that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. My question for you, pretty young lady, May So Young is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise. As soon as my things get together there we go. For May So joining us on this evening. Thank you for joining What's Love. Facebook user says, same great conversation so far. Well, God bless you. God bless you. Okay, so we're talking about love. Specifically, we're talking about jumping the broom and what you should do prior to jumping the broom.
Or what did you do?
Like
I said, I don't feel like I did anything besides just was ready. I guess I trust you enough. See there?
Mm-hmm.
I trust you enough for you to know that you're going to make the decision. You made the decision to say you want to marry me. So you made the decision to prepare it. And I trust you enough to say, hey, you got this. So I just packed my little stuff and just came along.
That was a lot. It was kind of daunting, if you will, because you was in a place where you was well taken care of.
Right.
And now here I come with this big ideal talking about, will you be my wife? And I knew that I couldn't take you out of your mother's house and then your quality of life, become way worse than what it was. Not that it was bad, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, but what I did was, when I saw you, you said I was your husband. And when I saw you, I said, I got to hit that. That's what I said, and, but the more I got to know you, that desire kind of took a backseat because I was really enjoying, getting to know you, and you was a very interesting young girl. And again, the more I talked to you, the more I got to know you, the more I wanted to know, and the more I found out about you. And it was just fun. And the timing was just perfect,
So then after you made the proposal to marry me, how did you prepare? Because I never asked you that question. I just saw that it was prepared. I went.
So I had already been dealing with the thought, because by now, folks, we have already been together maybe 4 years, I think.
High school, graduate.
Yeah, it was about 4 years. It was about 4 years. We had been dating for about 4 years before we actually got married. And so I'm in the church now. We're both in the church now. So a lot of things are different, right? And so anyway, long story short, I wanted to marry her. When I got to know you, and I knew what kind of girl you were. You never gave me any issues. You never showed me any disrespect. You never created any unnecessary problems for me in the streets.
Right.
And a lot of folk don't understand what that means, but because some girls will mess around and have you fighting every night at the club, and all this, that, the other. And I think that you were conscious of such a situation, and you never would do something that would cause any additional stress, strain, or problems. And man, that's for me. I was like, man, that's wifey material. I saw how you were with kids. There were so many kids, in the family that you took care of and everything. So I knew you would be a perfect mom. And you had just constantly showed me loyalty. You constantly showed me respect, trust, and you were always there for me. If I said I was going to build a igloo on the moon, you would have said, where are we going to get the snow, and where are we going to build this shuttle at,
I
And
think that's what I fell in love with you for, is
mhm,
to know that you had the ambition, and if you said you were going to do this, that, and the third, right? And the first time you said, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then you came through, it was like, dang, okay, he's not just all talk, but he put actions to what he said. So that was very attracted to me, for me, to you. Like the other day you asked me like, oh, blah blah blah, and I was like, well, you look great, yeah, you fine and all that, but my attraction to you was just that, the ambition of just saying that you're going to get it done, and you get it done no matter what, and that was just speak value to say that, okay, it don't matter how you gonna make it happen, but you make it happen regardless.
well, I'll say this, for any young ladies that are watching, um, you do have the power. Um, I want to say to boost your man. Because if he said, you know what, I'm gonna start a business. Well, how you gonna start a business? You ain't never ran a business. That I just don't think that's gonna do it. A woman has the power, and when a woman trusts a man, man, it'll do something to a man's get up and go. It'll do something to his ego. It'll do something to his drive. It'll do something to and for his ambition. And so as young kids, because we was 15 when we met, you didn't wait till I said, will you marry me, to start, displaying these kind of things.
Right, no.
You know what I'm saying? So I was good with doing it. Number one, I was fine with doing it. Number two, I'd be doggone if I'd have loafed out the opportunity and then someone else came and swooped you off your feet. Because the reality is sometimes we can wait too long. What's that song? You say too long. You know, and look at here, man. I don't understand why people got to be engaged for 12 years before they actually do the doggone thing, jump over the broom.
I think they not ready.
They're not ready.
They don't know what they really want. It sounds good. Or like I said before, they're in love with the word love, or in love with the idea of love, the idea of, oh, I'm going to put a ring on it, and the ring is on it, but then it's on there only, like you said, 12 years, and we haven't even jumped the broom. We haven't even went in front of,
12-year engagement is not an engagement. It's fraudulent behavior. How long were we engaged?
A year.
We weren't engaged a year, babe.
It was a year.
Mm-mm.
It was a year.
No.
It
was like 6 months.
It was a year, babe.
It wasn't a year.
Oh, I count down that year.
It wasn't a year.
It was a year.
No, it was not a year.
Yes, it
We
was.
got saved,
Okay.
and then the following year, we were married.
It was a year.
We got saved. The following year, we got married. But about 6 months after being saved is when I asked you to marry me. So we were only engaged for like 6 months. Bishop Shaw wasn't going for no long, drawn out engagements. Nah.
It felt like a year.
Yeah, because it felt like an eternity.
Oh,
you know but anyway, so I was comfortable popping the question because I didn't have any fears. Well, I don't think I can honestly say I didn't have any. Well, I didn't have any fears. I didn't. I didn't. There were some unknowns.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But there weren't really any fears because, we had already been together for like 4 years, even though things changed.
You didn't live with me though, so how you thought I was gonna be living together?
Well, we was together 24/7. We may not have was living together, but we practically was. I didn't think that I was going to get any surprise. The one thing, and if I'd have known this ahead of time, I probably would have even jumped over the broom.
What?
Because when I get up in the morning to brush my teeth, I take my time. And folks, I get all the toothpaste up to the top, and so that and then she'll come in and just grab it and the next day I go in there to brush my teeth.
Grab it.
Oh my goodness.
I take it and then I just squeeze from the top.
No, you mess it. I have it all neat. No, baby, no. Let's tell the truth now. Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Perception become your reality.
Look, guys, I wouldn't lie to you, okay? I get all the toothpaste up nice and neat, and I get the little bit that I need. I use it, put it back in there, and I come in the next day and it looked like it done been through a war zone. And I got to start all over again. I said, can she not just, so, if I'd have known that, I might not have married you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
The toothpaste.
Over the toothpaste, man.
That's a mess.
Nah, but I'm good, man. We spent a lot of time together. And for me, because I know that I'm not perfect, how can I expect you to be perfect? I mean, a lot of times I've fallen short. A lot of times, I didn't live up to the hype and, and things like that. And so what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I think sometimes we expect perfection from people when we ourselves are not even walking out on that level as it is. So that's my take on it. So I do think there are some things that we should do prior to jumping the broom. In our case, we were 19 years old. And so for the first time in my life, I went out and I got an apartment. And I was living at home with my mom. I guess technically I was living there, but I wasn't there every night. I was still out on my own as it was. But I got an apartment, 68 Federal Street. Right there on the corner. Beautiful apartment. It was in the hood, but beautiful apartments. Every now and then we have to come through the front hallway and step over a wino or something like that, and and folks fighting and stuff like that. But once we got into the apartment, it was beautiful, man. It was like a little penthouse. It really was beautiful, really spacious. And I went down there, got the apartment, and it was weird. Because for the first time in my life, I was living all by myself because we hadn't got married yet. And and we couldn't live together, And for about, I don't know, maybe 3-4 months, I was living in that apartment by myself. Shelly, what was you going to say? We were engaged for about 6 months. Okay. We were engaged for about 6 months. And then I took a little time to find the apartment. And then I got the apartment before the wedding.
We've been married too long. Okay.
So I know it was not a year that we were engaged. I know that for a fact. Yeah. So, but anyway, that was weird. Again, because, for the first time in my life, period, I'm living all by myself. And, boy, I couldn't wait for that honeymoon to be over. And then you came and you moved it. I remember my dad helped me set up the bedroom set and everything. Matter of fact, I think we used his van to go pick it up, and got the whole room set up and everything like that, the boom boom room, and
So then after you prepared that way,
okay,
as far as getting the apartment or whatever, then what? Now what?
So we got the apartment. At the time, I was still in school for cosmetology. It was kind of, because I was going to school, and then I was working at Sheldon Shelly, which is like a banquet hall, and it was fun. It was, but it wasn't something that could really support a family on, Thank God back then rent wasn't, majorly expensive and things like that. Plus, being in the hood, they practically would pay you to move in. But so yeah, so I did that. And then I ended up picking up another job at Stop and Shop. So I was working two jobs and going to school for cosmetology. And then we got married. And I remember one day I was sharing this with somebody just the other day. I remember one day I was at work, Stop and Shop, up there on Boston Road, and 11 to 7. Oh my goodness, it was a tough shift, man, doing that 11 to 7. And again, I would go to school in the morning, K Harvey, right? Go to school, get out about like 3 o'clock. Had to be the Chez chef by like 5 o'clock. I think it was like 5, 6 o'clock. Would work there sometimes right up until about 11 o'clock, and then have to get over to Stop and Shop to start my shift there. And this one particular night, man, I was just tired, man. It felt like I must have been up for about 2 days straight. It felt like,
Right.
and I remember just falling asleep. I was standing straight up, and then when I came to, my boss was standing down at the other aisle, like, and just walked off. And it was at that moment I said, I can't do this no more. I said, I can't do it no more. I didn't have that much longer with school. And so I quit the 11 to 7. And then again, shortly after that was when I graduated from cosmetology school, and went to go working over there with Leon and Carlene over at Top Ranking.
So how did you, as far as now that you prepared and you got the job,
Mm-hmm.
how did you, when we jumped the broom,
Yeah.
how was that?
It
What
was
are some things that you think that you could have done differently doing that wedding, doing the preparation for the wedding, if any? Well, I mean,
I'm not trying to sound corny or nothing like that, but I don't know if I would have changed anything. I think that God really blessed us even in the process.
well, I can't say the same.
You can't? Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for me, I was prepared mentally. I was prepared spiritually. I was getting prepared financially. I didn't have a whole bunch of money like I wish I would have. If I could change anything, maybe that. Um, but I was ready. I think sometimes we go into things wanting to be more ready than we need to be. And therefore we do it in ourselves an injustice, because I'm doing good, but I'm not doing good enough because I've come in here with these high expectations, and high expectations are okay. But don't discredit what you've done and what you got, So what would you have done different?
For me, it wasn't no high expectation, or was it like the venue or anything like that. I think the only thing that I regret not doing is having my first dance.
Okay, yeah. So definitely would, yeah.
That's something that I regret not doing.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, saints and saints, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, I really enjoy my process. Who's that enjoys your process? Would you please share that with us, please? For those of you who do not know, when we got saved at an old school apostolic church that was fairly strict, and that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But they definitely didn't go for any dancing, any secular music and things like that, and so following suit, we didn't have a mother and daughter dance, or first dance, or anything like that, because we didn't want to be looked at as hellions. So we were, I'm not gonna say we were robbed, but we lost that opportunity. I put it that way.
Right.
To plus, I mean, I'm not the best dancer. I got 2 left feet and I got white boy rhythm.
To do was hold each other and just rock to the side.
Okay.
It didn't have to be all this get down boogie and
Get down on it.
We had to do all that. We wasn't trying to, dance like how they dance and whatever, but just just to have.
I know who that is. That's Candace. She said I would have got a different limo. I know that got to be Candace. What's up, Candace? Let's make some noise for my sister-in-law, Candace, my cousin sister-in-law.
Right.
Oh gosh. Oh, Shanshika. Oops.
No.
Oh, that was the process. Enjoyed the process. Okay.
See, that's good.
Yeah.
Because that's good.
So
think that's the only thing I would change for mine was to have
that first dance.
my first dance and just enjoy that process.
You know, I think that there are some things that we only get one chance to maximize it.
Yep.
And
the process was fine, far as getting whoever was there. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
it was a beautiful
All
wedding.
that, that was fine. Just as far as the intimacy of you and I,
Yeah.
our first dance, that right there, I wish I had.
So maybe it's time to renew our vows, and I'll give you that first dance. How about that?
Sounds good. Shoot, I'm about to make it all up for Shaquan's.
Yeah. Oh, we about to be turned up on it. We about to take it over. I mean, I'm gonna get my tux with the ruffles and everything, and I'm gonna have my platform shoes, and I'm gonna bust through the doors. We're gonna be turned up for that. Yeah, we're gonna be turned up, man. So for those who do not know, our firstborn, Sheldon Shaquan McIver, he's getting married. He's jumping the broom. Come the 28th of this month. Let's make some noise for him and his beautiful bride-to-be, his fiance, Anaya Cherry, soon to be Anaya McIver. And so I am really excited for them, and I'm proud of them, man. I'm genuinely proud of them. I am. So their wedding is going to be the end of this month. We're looking forward to the family and friends that are coming down to celebrate this occasion with us. And we ain't going there just to watch somebody jump over a broom. We're going there to turn it up.
That's right.
Yeah, we're going to turn it up.
We're going to celebrate with them.
Yeah.
So Sanshika says she enjoyed the process.
Yeah.
I guess that's Candace saying she would have got a different limo. Yeah.
But you know what? It's even some of those things.
It's the memory, though.
Yeah, I mean,
you can sit back and kind of, it was like whatever at the time. You'd be like, ugh. But then, you can sit back and be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What in the world was going on? Remember the time when we was outside and the limo came out?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right in front of the church.
In front of the church, and he came and the wedding was over.
He did it. He was fly with it, though. He popped out his table, threw the white cloth on the table, bust out the champagne. No. He was like, what? He said, oh. He said, okay. He put that stuff up real quick, man. Right in front of church. Bishop would have had a fit, boy. We'd still be on the back seat. My gosh. And Bishop, he told us too, look here, we wasn't going to start on time. You ain't on time. Y'all going to get somebody else to do that with it. He meant it too, man. He didn't play no games, man.
Right there. That was something that I could, then I was like, oh my God, what's happening? But then you can sit back and laugh and be like, that was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Be like, oh man.
Meso said we didn't even do our first dance, and that's part of not knowing about things to do in marriage. But going on 30, married in July 40
years together. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I got it now. Together 40.
From the moon and back.
From the moon and back. There you go. That part right there. Let me say this, man.
And congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to Meso and his beautiful wife. 40 years together. And we had him on the Retro Philosophy Show. He shared portions of his story, man. Very interesting story, man. And both he and his wife went through some very traumatizing things as young folks. But in spite of that, they were able to maintain their relationship. We went through some things, but thank God by his grace, we're still able to maintain. Always leave space and leave room for growth, for reconciliation, because nobody's perfect. But what I was going to say, though, because sometimes people put so much emphasis on the ceremony and the festivities surrounding it. But if they will put that much energy into the relationship, that's what really counts, so that you can say 30 years later.
40 years
later,
Absolutely.
And so there's always something that happens at a wedding, something that, you just play like, oh my gosh. So yeah, so that's it, man. Jumping the broom. Again, congratulations to my son, Sheldon and Anaya, as they have made the decision, and it's going down on March 28th. Yeah. So Shanshika says she enjoyed her process. Anybody else want to share anything about their wedding? Again, you can hit the comment section, or you can call the number that's scrolling at the bottom of your screen, 980-222-4492. It's your boy retro and specs, and we're just talking about what's love. You know, what's love? It's a beautiful thing, um, and you can't. Your love story is not going to be the same as everybody else's. So don't minimize your experience. Don't minimize your process. Because we all have a story, and all of our stories are never going to be the same. What do you say about that?
Never gonna be the
Yeah.
same. It don't matter of if we came from the like my sister and I, we came from the same household, but her story and her process is different. We're in different walks of our lives at different points when we got married and so on and so forth. So I can't expect hers to be like mine's, and mine's was supposed to be like hers or whatever.
Right.
You just gotta embrace where you at in life, and if it works for you, it works for you. If it works for me, it works for me. You can't, if you could take something out of somebody's life and say, hey, I would like that to work in my life,
Mhm.
or whatever, then yeah, by all means, try and implement that, but never look at somebody else's situation or how their process is and think that yours is a failure because yours wasn't like that or what have you. So that's it in a nutshell.
Well, I want to switch gears a little bit. First and foremost, let's see here. Bada boom, bada bang. This is my beautiful family, guys. Yeah, yeah. My beautiful daughter Tajiana, my wife, my grandbaby Valley Faith, and then my son Sheldon Shaquan. And I'm so grateful. And if I knew then what I know now, we would have had more than just two. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I had no idea they were going to turn into the beautiful young adults that they are. I'm extremely proud of both of them, and we wouldn't have stopped at two. I'd have pushed for at least two more. I would have.
You pushing them out.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'd have pushed them out, but you'd have had to birth them. Yeah, but real talk.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's see here. No wedding, just a justice of peace. What's going on, Tootie? Thank you for joining us on tonight.
And I wonder how was that?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it works for you because you went to Justice.
Well, we that's what we were gonna do. We really were. I was like, you know what, man?
I would have been strangled from Mama.
Yeah. She wasn't having that.
That wasn't gonna happen.
She was not having that.
So, yeah, justice of peace.
Thank you, Facebook users. A beautiful family. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, hey, look here. Just because one goes to the justice of peace, that has no bearings on the validity of your love. It has no bearings on your relationship. I'm saying it's legal.
Sometimes the
Sometimes
justice of peace wedding lasts
Yeah,
longer than
that part right there.
$1,000 wedding,
Yeah.
or the $30,000 or the $20,000 wedding. So you can't. That's not any indicator that if it's going to last and not going to last or what have you,
And
or if your love is not strong,
Right.
or whatever.
And so, who says we got to have such elaborate weddings? Is it because we see somebody else do it, so we feel we have to?
Sometimes that has factors to do with it.
Yeah.
To be honest, in real life, yeah.
We often tell people to live within your means, but then you go and you marry outside of your means. Not in terms of who you marry, but okay. You just get married, and being married is going to present its own level of difficulty.
Absolutely.
I know you looked in each other's orbital sockets and said, I love you, and you said, I love you too. And but to see me and come live with me are two different things, as you were saying.
Oh, yes.
And so now you love this guy, you love this girl, but you didn't know she squeezed the toothpaste from the middle. And so now you got to work through these differences that you're not used to. And I know that's something, just comical, but so you got those issues that you got to work through, and you got to be very careful. And then on top of that
be life.
Life be life.
Situation.
And now on top of that, depending on how elaborate you went, you got a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 bill that you got to pay for this wedding.
Right.
And that could add a level of strain, stress, and problems.
We do it, or they do it, so that you have people who you don't really even like to come to eat up your food and leave you with a bill. So I mean, to each his own, but just want to um, validate that just because you went to a justice of peace does not negate that you didn't love or whatever. Just want
Right.
to, you know,
Yeah.
commend you on that too, because that's
Absolutely.
exactly what we wanted to
Yeah,
do.
we seriously
Like,
were.
listen,
We're
let's
just gonna go in the office.
let's get married, and we can do a reception or what have you, and
Yeah.
call it a day.
And then there's always, 2 years later, 3 years later, where you
Right.
once you get established and everything maybe a little better, you can always, because I married a couple. It's probably been about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it was literally a boom. They just wanted to get it done. So I went to their home. And they had a little ceremony set up in the backyard. It was nice. And he called his mother over. His mother got off work and came over, and she's like, "Oh, okay, we're getting married. Oh, okay." And they didn't know,
Wow.
you know. And so I was sitting like, you can hear the crickets. And so anyway, I did the marriage, performed the ceremony, performed the wedding, and but they told me the following year they were gonna do a real wedding.
Right.
And so they did. They called me back after that year, and we went back over, and it was beautiful. They still did it at the house in the backyard, but it was beautiful, man. It was outside. It was beautiful.
And I think for us too, being, I mean, people overall, if we use that, for me, I would rather for me to have a well relaxed honeymoon
Yeah.
or a down payment in a house
Yeah.
or something for that $50,000 or that $30,000 that you spend for a big wedding. I would rather just say, okay, go on a great honeymoon, or go ahead and just here go this $20,000 put down on a home or something like that, versus just having
Yeah.
big wedding for that amount of money, especially when you hit the 30, 40, 50,000. That's
Mhm.
just a lot for me. That's just
Yeah.
me. Everybody else
Now,
can
if
do
you
whatever
got
they
it, you
want.
got it. I mean,
Absolutely.
to each his own.
Each his own.
Shout out to Alicia Dalton. If I'm not mistaken, you got a wedding date coming up, or
Yeah,
it's coming up, right?
yeah.
I know she had to hire a midget to help her walk around with that big old ring on her hand. But
Yeah, she-
congratulations, Alicia.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Listen to me. Love is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, absolute beautiful thing. Meso said my aunt married us at Park at Gazebo. Most of our family was there. Then party food at our first home. Keep pressing forward. There you go, right there.
That's it.
Something nice and quaint. And
And
hey,
then what? 30 years later,
and
they still
30 years
together.
later, 30 years later, 30 years later.
This month.
Oh,
man.
okay. The 24th of this month. Let's make some noise.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah,
Congratulations.
congratulations, Alicia. We wish you all the happiness that your little heart can desire. The Bible tells us that He would not withhold any good thing from them that walk uprightly before Him.
That's it.
And so I believe that marriage is honorable because His Word tells us, and therefore,
However you decide to do it, is
yeah.
it just a piece, a big wedding,
Right.
small wedding,
right,
in the backyard, doing a big honeymoon versus a big wedding, whatever you decide, you go right ahead and you do what you feel like is best for you. And don't let nobody talk you either way.
Either way, I mean, whatever you decide to do,
Decide. Yeah.
But I do agree. If I had the choice, and to choose whether we do a wedding and we drop 50 bands, or we take that and we do a nice elaborate vacation, I choose the vacation.
Absolutely.
We'd still do something small, something quaint, family and friends. But I would prefer to take us, because for us, we kind of talked about it briefly, and we were gonna wait on kids, and just to enjoy life as a couple. But a year later, here comes Shaquan, and then a couple years later, here comes Tajiana, and so we started early with the kids.
Which in now that I'm older, I don't.
It worked
regret
out
that.
well.
It worked out
Yeah,
well because
yeah.
we had kids early,
Mhm.
so enough time so that now we're able to enjoy life because they're young adults starting their own lives, and we're able to get out and do
Yeah.
things and still enjoy life,
Yeah.
still and still being
Yep.
young enough anyway.
Well, what's love, folks? Jumping the broom. Congratulations again to Alicia and anyone else that may be watching. My son and Anaya, congratulations to you guys. 4 days after Alicia, you guys will be walking down the aisle. And we certainly wish you guys all the best. And because we know for a fact that it is doable. 19 years old, we're choosing small wedding, cookout style, and nice honeymoon. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. It's not, for me, it's not worth the stress and strain, like you said, babe, to please folk who's just gonna sit there and oh, look at the dress she got on. Oh, look at the shoes he got on. Oh Lord Jesus,
Right.
come on, man. They're gonna be talking about the chicken was too tough and the mashed potatoes was too soft, and you can't please folk.
Mm-mm.
So please yourself.
Please
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah.
whichever way.
Let's see here. What else we got to talk about before we get out of here?
As far as jumping the broom,
Yeah.
I think it is. We didn't do the broom. Maybe Alicia knows the idea or the background of what jumping the broom means, or why do people do it? I don't know.
I think it's been reduced to just a saying now with no real meaning to it, just a cliche, if you
When we
will.
put it up there was basically saying about and that's
And that's what the article.
more like traditionally for slavery and this and that. I think that's more like what it was, but nevertheless,
Yeah,
we've jumped the broom
yeah, we sure did.
without the broom.
Without the
but
broom,
we did.
and
And it was
again, we
good
were
decision.
19 years old.
Great decision.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll help mature you too. You know what I mean? From we was already, even though we were young, we were still mature. I think we knew what we wanted in life at a fairly young age.
Right. So if you would do it again, would you get married that young?
I would. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't change it. Yeah. I see. I had already lived the life. I know we were young, but we had lived life, so it wasn't like there was a lot of stuff out there that's like I felt I'm missing out on. You know what I'm saying? As some folk would say, you was before your time, and in some respects, yeah, I was. I always hung out with older people. You know what I'm saying? And I was always, just kind of so. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything because I was so busy focusing on what I had and where I was going with what I had. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was ready. I was.
For Alicia and Shaquan and those maybe watching and not commenting that's about to jump the broom, what kind of advice can you give them, or would you give them?
Okay, this is what I would say. Okay, when you're talking about getting married, I know she's cute and cuddly and everything, but the reality is you're marrying her family. You're marrying his family. This is my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law. Okay, and one of the things that I realized was, number one, the relationship that they had with each other. I always respected it. I always admired it. And it was very important to me not to do anything to, I'm not going to say sabotage, but anything to challenge it, anything to come against it, but remain supportive. Now, there were days when I was jealous. There were days where I felt they had more intention than me, but again, I understood their relationship. And when you marry that woman, when you marry that man, you marry their family. Now, that doesn't give their family the right to control your marriage. And my mother-in-law, my in-laws, they do not play that kind of role. They love me unconditionally. And they're never trying to be controlling. They're never trying to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Intrusive. They've been very respectful to me down through the years, and vice versa. So for those of you who are getting ready to jump the broom, I know you're saying I do to her or to him, but you're marrying that family.
Right.
Yeah. And you say, well, it's important that we understand the families that we're marrying into, because it
Right.
will give you an
Dynamics.
insight to the dynamics that you're gonna have in your house now,
Absolutely.
just through your wife, you know? And so I was blessed to have a good relationship with my brother-in-laws, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, and everybody. And so I understood things. And yeah, and so that was a blessing for me. And it helped me, navigating through our situations. So that's one, portion of advice I would give. How about you?
That's a good advice. For me, it's okay, you are marrying them into the family, but at the end of the day, you just, I don't know. It's so much that's it's so much I can say, but nevertheless, when you marrying into a family, like for me, for my husband, I the opposite relationship that we have for his family. Love my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law treat me just like her kids. Like she mad at them, she mad at me too.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a bad thing sometimes, because shoot.
Exactly, but at the end of the day, I take people for where they at and where they would let me in, and try not to force it either way. I'll be supportive in either side or whatever. If they feel like they want to talk, we talk. If they don't, then I respect that and keep it pushing, and don't hold it against them or what have you. I just meet them where they at and just accept it for what it is and keep it pushing. Support them when can. If they don't need my support, or don't want it, then I don't give it or try to but I try to stay neutral when it comes to that, and try not to take side. So
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times with that, having family dynamics or what have you, is just take it where it's at and just be supportive where you need to be supported. And if they let you in, you come on in, and if they don't, then you just stay where you at, and love from a distance, and it's fine.
And you know what, babe? I think some stuff comes with time. I think sometimes we're expecting things, but we haven't given it time. It's not that your in-laws, because somebody said having good in-laws. Let's see here.
Having loving and supporting
Where is it at?
in-laws
Yeah.
is
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah. And it is indeed. It is very awesome. But sometimes it takes time,
Right.
you know, and and you got to allow that process, and yeah, because that was something that was big for me.
And then the thing about it, like you just said too, sometimes you feel like, okay, they're getting more time, and then with person coming into your family or whatever, they may think that you're taking them away, not
Hmm.
realize I'm not taking you away. I'm adding to you. Now you have a mother-in-law and a brother-in-law and a sister-in-law, and different families that maybe you wasn't you know good with on your side of family. Now you have these type of people that you can bond with, and get what you didn't get from your other side of family, and so forth. So that's, like I said, I'll take them where they at, or wherever they receive me in to their lives. And if they don't, then I still love you from a distance, and do whatever that I can do for you when you let me in, or if you want me to let me in.
Facebook user,
But
but the spouses have to come to an understanding. If you could elaborate what direction or what angle you're coming from that, I do believe that as a spouse, as spouses, we do have to come to an understanding. You know,
it's
some.
just like, okay, I think the understanding was, if I'm wrong, Facebook user, you can correct me. The understanding, like, for me, if I'm on the phone with my sister, and we
Mhm.
be on the phone for hours sometimes when we get into that mood, and then I see my husband come in, and I know, okay, I've been on the phone long enough, and I'll be like, okay, sis, I'm gonna wrap it up. Sheldon just came home, but he have that understanding, even if I do stay on the phone maybe another 10, 20 minutes.
Another hour or two, you said?
But I have to understand, like, okay, I got to get off the phone and give him some attention. So the spouse gotta be understanding as well. And
Yeah.
maybe that's what you talk about. For me, that's what, when I see that comment, that's what comes to my mind.
I think we have to be mindful of our spouses. The Bible talks about dealing with the woman according to knowledge, and I want to apply that to both male and female, both the husband and the wife. We've got to deal with each other according to knowledge. If you know that I work all day long, and when I come home, I need about 30 minutes of peace to just
Right.
unwind.
Right.
Don't have the house full of folk.
True.
because you already know that so I think that's where we got
Type
to
of things, yeah.
understand our spouses and respect that,
Right.
and in time that in and of itself may change, you know what I'm saying. So I just think that that's important for us to understand. I get it, you and your sister are tight like that, you and your whoever, but the Bible says, for this cause shall a man leave his mother and his father, and shall cleave unto his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. And I know we're talking about the husband leaving his family, but that applies to this woman as well. And so what I'm saying is, those two people that have become one are more important than anybody else. Now, because I love my wife, I'm not going to put her in a dilemma and make her have to choose me or her family, because if I do that, I don't love her. Y'all can look at me like that if you want to, but we should never put our loved ones in a dilemma. Okay. And then on the flip side of that, we should also not provoke them to even think that they gotta put us in a dilemma. In other words, there's got to be some give and take. If you see your husband is a little agitated or whatever, then work it out. Work it out. I want to go back to what Meso said here just a while ago. Let me see if I can find this comment, because this is something that we live by.
Oh, going to the bed?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He says, don't go to bed mad at each other. Talk about it. And that was something that we live by. That was one of our, I'm not going to say rules, but it was certainly one of our principles. So with that said and done, have some principles. Some of y'all got safe words, but you don't have, how do I say this? You got to know which words you cannot use with your spouse. I'm just saying. Am I making any sense?
Oh, you making sense.
I don't care how mad you are. Certain things you just can't do. You just can't say. Hey, what's going on? Shaquila Bussy in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise.
Hey, lady.
For the Moto Mob CEO passing through. Sitting here talking about what's love. Yeah. So we have to understand, folks, that there are limits and there should be boundaries. And there have been times. Now, she's usually more mad than me. And you usually more mad than me,
Because I don't be on this Facebook all the time, they gonna believe this.
So
ain't true, y'all.
So which one of us is more likely to get mad?
About what? It all depends.
Period.
It all depends.
It all depends.
It all depends.
I mean, just throw it all in the pot. Which one of us is more likely to get mad?
Man, you, man.
Me? Man. So anyway, what like I was saying, what was I saying?
Who's likely to get mad?
No, I was saying something else.
Safe words.
Oh yeah, no matter how hold on. You took me somewhere else with that safe word. No, so let me stop. No matter how mad I get with this one over here.
Who's the mad then? See there?
I didn't say I don't get mad. I just said you're more likely to get mad, because what you'll do when you get mad
and upset is two different things.
How so?
Because I can be upset doesn't mean I'm mad.
Your upset is mad.
And okay, we ain't gonna do this.
Tomato. But seriously though, what happens is, when you get mad, you're quicker to shut down.
Absolutely.
You'll just, you won't say nothing because you be like, because if I say something, I mess around it, and
it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, you just said safe words, so instead of saying something that you can't take back, because words you can't take back, it's already out there. I can say sorry all day long, but you already say that word. So before that, then I'll just.
But the problem is,
process it, and then I'll be like, okay, maybe I need to say it this way. I'm gonna tell you how I feel, but I'm not gonna come out like the first initial thing that might come to my mind, like what I want to say in just raw like that. I'll just come and be like.
So here's the problem with that. I get it, because that's your mechanism, and I'd rather you do that than because so anyway. But at what point do we get that out of us?
Get what out?
The fact that if you do something to make me mad, I don't have to worry about the wrong thing coming out of my mouth.
It's not a matter of the wrong thing.
Okay.
It's the delivery of what you're
Oh
going to
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's the delivery.
Yeah,
It's
girl.
the
Preach,
delivery.
preacher.
It's the delivery.
Oh, yes, sir.
It's not like I'm gonna cuss you out and use choice words like
Okay,
that.
okay.
It's a matter of the delivery. I'm just gonna say it that it can be hurtful, but not be, don't say it that it be hurtful, but enough where you can listen. Because now you're not gonna listen to what I'm trying to say or hear my heart because I've done said it so hurtful. You're gonna be thinking about just how I said it versus me just taking a moment and be like, babe, you know what you did yesterday really ticked me off, and I would appreciate you if you did XYZ versus doing it this way.
Okay.
Versus me coming out in my delivery and I'm
Uh-huh.
mad and then
Okay.
I'll say or upset.
Yeah.
And I'll say something.
Okay.
That's not gonna be right.
Okay.
You know? So
Yeah.
it's one of those things. And there's nothing wrong with that to draw back and wait and say, hey, let me get myself together here.
Yeah.
Think about what I need to say, how I need to say this, instead of just saying, saying it recklessly and then be like, oh, I could have said that better. But
Yeah, and I think that, if you're gonna jump that broom, you gotta get to a point where you have a level of discipline.
you gotta have some discipline.
Because sometimes, it's some stuff you just can't get off your chest. Sometimes you just got to hold that.
They still say, what if you say something, but it's just the way you talk?
Well,
maybe then you and your spouse already know that's how you talk, so they're not gonna take it as if you're being like disrespectful or reckless.
However, just because it's the way we talk doesn't make it right.
And this is why I rather quiet myself before I come out and say something a wrong way. And then, a couple years, even though I apologize, then if we're in another disagreement or argument or something, then, that's coming back up because it never got healed because the way how I said it, even though I may apologize, the day that I said that, then it still come back up and be like, I can't believe you just said that.
Well, I'll be like, well, that's just how I am. That's how I was raised. But that's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
Especially in the sense of, if it hurts you or if it makes you feel some kind of way, even though all my all my years, that's how we always did. We talked to each other, and, because it's just like growing up, I had one friend named Raul, Spanish dude. And I never forget one day him and his mother was out there. They had a disagreement and he's cussing her out and she's cussing. They just cussing back and forth. I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness. There's no way I could use that kind of language. Not even to my mother, but even in her presence. But anyway, I use that to say, somebody can be raised that way. But now you marry this individual and it's offensive to them. So I don't think that it's necessarily an excuse that that's just how I am.
Or even if you use if a person is having a disagreement, be like, you can't understand, you're not understanding, you just stupid. Like that right there also can be.
Well, that's a because
some people don't want to hear you be like, oh, you just stupid or whatever.
How about this?
Not even curse words, but just simply words like that.
Well, how about this? Some people are raised with tough love, but tough love is not always the most effective form of love. And so you're used to being, toughen up, suck it up, just deal with it. And now your spouse is a little bit more fragile, a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more, and you can't, you can't be that way. Right. It might get you some results, but it might not get you the lasting results.
Right.
They were only doing it as long as they could, and then you mess around and you find them at their breaking point.
Absolutely.
And so I think that we just all have to be considerate of our spouses. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I would another advice that I would leave is to never put down your spouse in front of anyone, right? You have a disagreement and an argument, no one in that room should ever know that you guys having a disagreement, or if you are, something come up for you to be fussing in front of people and putting them down and or each other and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. These are all pertaining to jumping the broom. So,
Yeah.
and then just life overall, to stay in from jumping back over that broom,
I'll say this because I think it's applicable.
the disrespect for it.
Willie Maxwell, what's going on, brother? Thank you for joining the broadcast on tonight, man. How you doing, brother? He's got some years under his belt as well, him and his beautiful wife. I think they're like right there with us, babe. Same amount of years that we've been together. Very similar story as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But my husband could never say that I disrespect him in public, nor willfully do any of that, because I think that even plays on how
not just in
people
public, but period.
Period, right?
Yeah, we go as far as say period.
Right, to say, oh, I disrespect you and this, that, and that. But some people they don't really care. They talk to their spouse any kind of way in public, wherever, and that's not cool. Because if somebody see you doing that, then they feel like they can do that.
Yeah, then we got a problem.
Then we have a problem. Now now you put your spouse in a situation where, they can, cause harm to each other or whatever, because now they want to defend you. If somebody call you out of their name because you don't call them out of the name in public, and be like, shoot, I hear you call them like that, so whatever, or I hear you call her that, so now I'm gonna call her that, and now
you can't be running to your family, tearing your man down or tearing your woman down, and then expect your family to respect her. But right. Willie is so right, and I'm glad you said that, brother, because that's where I was getting ready to go. He says that no matter how long you're together, it's still a learning process. It sure is. And it really is, man. And so he's got 35 years come April. So let's make some noise for Willie Maxwell and his wife for 35 years. But what I was going to say a moment ago, folks, is that, when you get married, it's new. But just like that car, that new car smell, it'll start to fade away if you don't maintain it. You know what I mean? And but the reality is, we go through phases, right? And what might be difficult today, it'll get easier next week if you just stick it out. If you just stick it out. So that's what I want to say, and I encourage you guys, because as Willie said here, it's a learning process, and you really will go through phases and stages in your marriage.
Absolutely.
So don't be discouraged when you hit a block or a roadblock or whatever. Just stick together, work it out as best you can.
And don't be saying, "Oh, I think I made a mistake."
Nah.
Don't even put that in the back. You don't even put that in the front of your mind. To say, "Oh, I think I made a mistake," especially when trials and situation comes and disagreement and it's kind of looking rocky. Nope. This is the decision I made. I'm standing on it, and we're going to walk it. We're going to walk this through, and we're going to figure out how to maneuver, how to fix, how to adjust, whatever it is to make it work, because this is what we wanted, and this is what we're going to do, regardless of how it feels.
And marriage is honorable. It is. It's not only is it honorable, it's workable. I mean, it's workable. I didn't say it was going to be perfect. I didn't say it was going to be easy, but it's workable, man. Be willing, be quick to forgive. Like Meso said earlier, don't go to bed mad. God don't make no mistakes. Keep pressing forward. That part right there, real talk. Just keep pressing forward in your marriage and in your relationship. So we're grateful for you guys for joining us on tonight. We're not gonna belabor the time, as we would say in the church. So any final remarks?
No, no final remarks, I don't think.
So ladies and gentlemen, What's Love is a group that we started maybe 2-3 years ago. I think it was something like that.
The pandemic.
Yeah.
So what, 4 years now?
Yeah, somewhere around about there. And so this is what we are calling season 2. And so we just want to come on tonight. We had quite a few things to transpire, and it was just, we were just unable to maintain our schedule on Sundays at 6 p.m. But we're working through some of those things. And you got to realize, folks, there's a lot of outside things that you couldn't have planned for that can sometimes cause pressure on your relationship as well. So you got to take all of that into consideration too. Sometimes it's not her fault. Sometimes it's not my fault. Sometimes it just happens.
And it's life.
It's life.
Sometimes life.
And life be life, and you know. So if you have not already gone over to the YouTube channel, Sheldon and Shelly, please do so. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way when we go live, you'll be notified. You can also go over to Facebook and the group there is, it's still What's Love Got to Do With It. We're going to make that adjustment here soon, from What's Love Got to Do It to just What's Love. And we'll be going live Sundays at 6 p.m. So just, stay tuned. I'm not sure we're going to do every other Sunday or every Sunday, but at least every other Sunday you'll be able to catch these episodes, What's Love. Alicia says, appreciate this. Thank you, Dave, and I enjoyed listening to this. Love you guys. Love you too. Amen. Yeah.
Enjoyed.
Yeah, real talk. Yep. Yep. And for real, life be life.
And life and quick too.
Yeah.
Quick. Everything be looking like it's going thing, and then next thing, one thing's like a domino. And
but
there
just
it
work through it.
But
Work through it.
Just pick them dominoes up, the first one that stopped, and just stack them right back up again, and let it work and let it do what it do.
And you got to learn to be each other's cheerleader. Yeah, you got to learn to be each other's cheerleader. All right, folks. Again, we want to thank you for joining us on tonight. And hopefully something was said to bless you. And we hope that you'll catch us on the next time we go live here on What's Love. It's your boy Retro.
Shelly.
And we out of here.
Bye, guys.
Just like that.